Now to talk about District 9. This movie is directed by Neil Blomkamp, who also later directed Elysium and Chappie, which I haven't seen, but maybe one day. This movie is about a guy, I don't remember his name in the movie, or his actor's name. Oops. Whatever, the point is, this guy is basically dealing with these aliens. Basically, a few years before the events of this movie, 20 years, these aliens came to Earth, but these aliens were like in really bad shape. They couldn't do anything, so we went up to their mothership and like took them down and gave them this area to stay called District 9. The aliens are there, and they've learned our ways. They can communicate with them, and their customs and all that stuff. So they are basically there. However, it's been 20 years, and a lot of people are either anti-alien or they're pro. They think they're people too. They want them to go home. It's an interesting subtext they've got going on there, and I like a lot of that goes on. And then the guy who I mentioned before comes in, and he's gonna have to evict a lot of the aliens and move them to another district because District 9's not going well. However, some stuff happens, and then he ends up turning into one of these aliens. So he gets on the alien side and has to steal something from the humans. This renegade human group that's kind of doing illegal stuff. Sorry about that interruption. That was my friend who just called on my phone. Yeah. Anyway, back to District 9. The guy, he ends up turning into one of these aliens, and now he's got to go infiltrate this rogue group's thing and steal something back that'll help him get back, because he's working with these other two aliens. The aliens are referred to as the prawns, because I guess they look like prawns. I don't know. But yeah, this is a pretty cool movie. I did like it. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was a neat movie. I really liked it. First of all, I like the premise. The premise is really cool. And I like the subtext going on there with like, hey, yay, pro aliens, they're humans too. No, they're not. Yeah, and that's a pretty cool. And the main guy is really cool. You really get the struggle he's going through. The fact that he wants to, be with his wife and stuff. Because there's rumors being spread around about him and what he did that made him the way he is. But at the same time, you really just root for the guy. You really root for him in his struggle. And it's got some pretty sweet sci-fi action in it. Like, a lot of the stuff, like they got these alien guns and stuff, and they're firing them, and they look really awesome. And then there's like this really cool infiltration scene that goes on, which is probably the best scene in the movie. I love that scene. And you got the aliens and stuff. The aliens are pretty cool. The CGI on the aliens is actually not too bad. I didn't feel it was amazing, but it worked, and I believed that they were there and stuff. And they had these huge mechs and action stuff. It's really cool in terms of action sci-fi stuff as well. And it's not as good as some other action sci-fi movies, but it was really neat, and it worked for what it was. Like, the problem I have with this movie is I kind of wasn't a huge fan of the first half hour. I don't know, I enjoyed what was going on, but the problem with that is, it felt just kind of weird. But once, the guy started becoming a prawn and all that stuff, and he went on his adventure, hiding, I really liked it from there. From then on, it was really great. I don't know why. I mean, I did like the first, I did like them, it's just not as much. But another interesting thing this movie does, it's sort of found footage, but it's not really. Like, the first 30 minutes is handled like a documentary, where people talking about District 9 and how the aliens came, and then talking about the guy and what happened to him. And then, like, after the half-hour in mark, it stops being like that, and it kind of just, is like a normal movie. Like, maybe it still intended to be like the camera, what we see is like from other people's point of view, as opposed to like a pure found footage movie, which is all cameras that are just there recording stuff. It's an interesting way they did it, and I kind of wish it would have been a little more consistent, but at the same time, not too bad. And it was pretty cool, and I did enjoy that take on it. It was really nice, because I like found footage. It's an interesting idea if it's done well, like Chronicle. Chronicle did it well, this movie did it pretty well too. So yeah, it has some good CGI, I like the characters, I like the plot. Not the biggest fan of some of the first few parts of it, and not everything is perfect about this movie, but it's still a nice fun movie, and I had a good time with it. And I actually have this, I'll get it right now. I have this Steelbook edition of this movie, which I actually got from Best Buy, and this was like on sale for $10, and it's a pretty awesome Steelbook. So yeah, see if your local Best Buy has one of these, because it's only $10. And it's definitely worth it, I'd say, because I had a good time with this movie. And if I had to grade it, it'd be an 85%. It's not the best movie ever, it's not the best sci-fi action movie ever, it's not as good as movies like Terminator 2 or The Matrix, but I still had a lot of fun with it, and I would definitely watch it again. It's a fun movie, and you should check it out. That's it for this episode of Movie Opinions, and adios, home slices. I still need to work on my outros. I'm just gonna go put this back.